Afternoon, the tents must come down. The protesters must move out of the park, which they have occupied for more than a month.
That is a ruling from an Ontario court judge who upheld the eviction order issued by the city. So what are the protesters preparing to do? Pack up or remain in the park? The lawyer acting on behalf of Occupy Toronto has not ruled out an appeal of the judge's decision. CTV's John Musselman is in St. James Park, home to the protesters for weeks now. And John, they've heard from the court. They have certainly heard from neighboring businesses and residents. So what's the plan?
Well, they've heard from a lot of people, Ken, but the bottom line here, nobody's really leaving. We'll just pan over and you can take a look for yourself. You can see all these tents. Nobody's pulling any tents down here. The fact of the matter is they've heard the legal decision, but what we're hearing from people here is they are staying put. And right now we're in a holding pattern. They're just waiting to see what the city decides. And the big question, of course, on everyone's mind is when will the police move in?
The legal decision has come down, but the tents have not. Occupiers like Andrew Johnson says he'll wait for the police to make the next move.
I am willing to be arrested.
Is that important to you?
It is that important.
How long have you been here?
Since day one.
Wait for them to come in. I'm not going to resist or anything. They're just going to have to take me out in handcuffs. I'm not leaving otherwise.
Justice David Brown ruled this morning that protesters can no longer camp at St. James Park. The bottom line, no tents and no assembly in the park after midnight.
We're not going to let a judge tell us that our ideas are illegitimate, because we know why our ideas are legitimate more than they know.
It's a worldwide group that I think is expressing its frustration at the fact that society is becoming much more unequal, that we've gone through these cycles before the Great Depression, during the Great Depression, and now.
Now everyone here waits for the next move. Protesters have been told police will not move in immediately. Still, many people here have taken activist defense training for the arrival of the police.
I've seen that technique, the going limp technique. I've seen the locking arm technique. I've seen people, layering themselves 9 people deep. But it's certainly not our intention to pick a fight with the police.
For the people who live and work near this park, enough is enough.
I don't think people can live in a park. It's unhygienic, and we just don't need it anymore.
Lawyers for the protesters argued the encampment was a key part of the movement, and they should be allowed to stay.
Now, there is some defiance here, of course, but we're also sensing a lot of uneasiness. There's a lot of young people in this park. They probably had no interaction with the police before, so there is a sense of concern that when the police move in here, they will be asked to leave. As you heard in that piece, they don't want violence. They don't want to confront with the police, but that's not always the case in these situations. So I can say, Christine, Ken, there is a bit of nervousness here now as people keep an eye on when the police move in and when that happens.
Thanks, John.